We are here again with Max and Jane. Susan will be sharing a little bit of a deeper knowledge of some of the ingredients that they have used for the different products here that we see. I think the last thing that I wanted to tie in, as I mentioned, is the different age groups. So we have our 20s and 30s, 40s and 50s and beyond. And what I'd like to do is just now kind of introduce the products. And I know one of the things you mentioned earlier is the pollutants that we're faced with, whether it's, no matter what it is, but the antioxidants are going to help fight off all of those negative effects that we receive that are damaging our skin from those pollutants. So I wanted to kind of tie in and talk about that. You mentioned that this line is not particular to a specific age range or age group. It's for all, and focusing on the antioxidants, which we all need. So now if we could just kind of
So I guess we really designed it more specifically for people's particular issues, that we knew they wanted something for a particular issue. I can give you kind of the down and dirty sentence or two on each product to know, like, why do people really buy them? Lip Nutrient, Max and Jane Lip Nutrient. So this is an organic pumpkin seed base, and it's infused with a little touch of sesame oil and things we considered necessary. So one of them is silk peptides. So silk peptides, ours actually come from pulverized silk cocoons from China. So they're actually pulverized. They have the 13 amino acids in that you need to repair and rebuild the small skin cells that we have around the eye and around the lip. So you know how puffy lips came in and everybody wanted these young looking lovely lips. So we wanted them too. So thin lips are just not so becoming. So, that's why we put the silk peptides in here, and it's an amazing product that in a very healthy way and with just organic product, you end up with kind of a rebuilt lip situation, which is really lovely. We do it also in a color situation where it's got red oxide from iron oxide in there. We call it berry, and we consider it a neutral for warms or cools. And this will also come out in, I actually just put that one on, so I have berry on right at the moment. And I'm sure it would look great on your gorgeous skin too, so you
that's
should do
beautiful
that too.
color. Hopefully you can capture that. I'm always...
And we'll probably, in the end, do about 4 more. There's like 4 more I have in mind, and so that's coming. But CBD is coming in Lip Nutrient by January 1st. Probably by sometime in December. It just takes us a little time to do barcode and labeling and all that sort of thing. Okay, so that's a big seller for us. The cleanser, we haven't spoken about it all yet. This is really pure product, really simple and gentle. We call it Transilience Calming Cleanser. Everything we do has only herbs and ingredients in it that are anti-redness and anti-inflammatory. Every product. But this is no foaming agent in it, so it's a foaming pump jar where it brings the air in and it actually becomes a product that's foam. We found out in our testing that teenage boys would not use a product that wasn't foaming and that they couldn't use with one hand in the shower in the morning, so that's how we ended up with that bottle on that product. But we won the Yoga Journal Award 2 years ago for Best New Cleanser in the marketplace, so we're very proud of that. That was really a great thing for us. Very gentle. Everyone has an aromatherapy, actually. In the Lip Nutrient, it's actually mandarin and rose essential oils. So you can smell this one. I mean, we think that in the morning when you wake up, whether you've had enough sleep or you have a job that you don't like and you have to go to, whatever's going on, you ought to have something really lovely to, get you happy for before breakfast. I'll do these in the order they're sitting in. So Mandarin Firming Cream was actually designed for tightening for neck and for back of hands because we're judged by age, not just by our face, but actually more by neck and hands. And so obviously at this point in my life and being a gardener among other things and outdoors a lot, I needed it. So there's hazelnut oil in here, which I don't know if you're familiar with, but it's actually moisturizing and astringent or tightening at the same time. And
I didn't realize that part.
I know that's such a lovely thing because it's not true of most oils. This one we actually call the 18-hour moisturizer because truly when you put this on, I mean, first off, it has 4 wonderful mandarin and blood orange and all citrus. Go for it. Put it on the back of your hand or wherever you would like. But it really lasts and lasts and lasts throughout the days. And we're in the high desert here, so for us that's really important. But lots of people in big cities and with air conditioning and so on, winter or summer, dry skin is a big issue for them. So it can be used in a thin layer everywhere, but it's really designed for neck because it's tightening and for back of hands. The next one sitting here happens to be the Golden Pore, the new one, which this is doesn't block your pores. So the health of your skin comes up, as you know, through hair follicles. They actually bring up sebum, which is a hormone-laden product coming up and coming out through the surface. And the lineage there is just like one cell at a time is all that can move through
Okay.
there on that little hair follicle. So if you have oils trapped under there or wrong hormones, some problem going on, bad diet, these things will come up and they'll make breakouts. So it's really important to do that. This product does two things. It actually helps correct the hormone imbalance that's underneath there, and helps that product move up and out so that you're not gonna, you're not blocking on top. And I mean, that would be the beginning of a blackhead if you had dirt trapped there and then, it's stuck, actually trapped, and you have to do an extraction or something to get rid of that. But the golden pour, the CBD oil on that, it's 200 milligrams of CBD in 100 ounces, retails at $98. None of our products have fillers in them. They're extremely concentrated. Most of our reorders are at about 3 months for each product, so people will flip around and order or purchase different product, but there is a very lengthy supply. Like an ounce is actually 420 drops. The designation for that is just use 1 to 2 drops a day. That's what I use.
Okay.
So I mean, that's 100 plus days. That it's going to last. It's actually a pretty incredible value.
Yeah.
So okay, Nimbus Rose. Collagen.
Collagen.
So you were asking about age groups, what happens in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. And I was mentioning that when I lecture at that, I tell people by the time they get to 50 and on up, they have to do everything that they were supposed to do in their 20s, 30s, 40s. They have to add them all in. So hyaluronic acid, which is a thing that holds water, up to 100 times its weight, we produce it in the human body. And but at about 17 years of age, we begin to produce less.
Right.
So that's a bit of a drag that we don't hold moisture as well. But also, you need to make a bond between collagen and elastin, and that's hyaluronic acid. So if you're short on hyaluronic acid, that's actually the beginning of a wrinkle. So prevention of wrinkles, which actually show up in your 20s.
Yes.
And nobody wants to hear this,
Yes.
but you have gorgeous skin, so I know you know this.
Thank you.
That it begins, and people don't pay attention. That they're getting more informed nowadays and beginning to pay attention. You want to keep that hyaluronic acid up.
Right.
So the eye nutrient is actually the one that has 20% hyaluronic acid. And it's in a pump jar. Can I just put some on there? It smells like cucumber. And
it does.
It's so refreshing in the morning. I think one of the worst compliments we ever got on that product was a young man from New York City who wrote in and said he could party all night and go home and put it on before he slept, like after the bar at 3 a.m. and get up the next morning and use it again. And then while he was being driven to work, with his driver, he'd put it back on and nobody could tell that he'd been up partying all night long. So not what it was designed for, but hilarious to know that it got him through the day with his eyes looking pretty fantastic. So anti-inflammatory, calming, soothing, has an aloe vera base. That can actually be used by somebody with potential for breakout over the whole face. And all of our products, I don't know how much you know about manufacturer products of oils and water-based products and so on.
But happy to share, yes.
Well, sometimes they have to come up to a certain temperature to be mixed and held constant and so on. So we use same temperature ranges, and with a lot of background in formulating myself, these products are mixable. You could put 1 pump of the eye nutrient in your hand, and you could add 1 to 2 drops of the golden pour with the CBD, mix it up, and put it all over face, neck, and back of hands, all at the same time. So each of the products can be interchanged and mixed actually in the palm of your hand, because different people need different things, and so that's helpful. Tourmaline exfoliant actually has tourmaline from Brazil in it with the heavy metals removed, so it looks like gray mud. It smells, again, heavenly. What do you think it smells like?
Oh my goodness, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
There's limonene in there as a preservative, and rosemary. So lemon and rosemary should come. We use rosemary in almost everything because we're so into naturals. So when you put that on, and if you can leave it to dry like 10 minutes in a dry environment, you put a very thin layer on your face. On the East Coast, it takes longer to dry. But it can be massaged off by an esthetician, or you can actually do that yourself, or you can take it off with a warm wet washcloth. But if you rub it off, it comes off like little pencil shards when we were in school days, And that's dead skin cells and the dry tourmaline all at the same time, and lovely to get a massage while you're at it. So you've got to take those dead skin cells off if you want a golden glow. That's an important thing. Okay, last one to talk about briefly was our original one. So this is first being last. This is the first product we made. And it's actually 11 oils infused with 22 herbs. We put everything we wanted in it because we seriously were in the wind and sun for like 14 hours a day. Young people and older people have used it on eczema. We have a famous pianist who had dry, cracking hands, and I asked him to just put it on the first time and see how it went for a few hours. We were at a conference together, and he has not only was he thrilled by the end of the afternoon, but he's purchased it every month ever since then. He's a Beverly Hills guy. You might get to meet him.
Okay.
So, it's really a wonderful, wonderful product, and lots of good testimonials about that online. So that's a very brief synopsis, but any questions coming to mind over those?
Not so far. This has been a great overview. I'm definitely looking forward to trying the products. I even learned a few things myself with regards to some of the ingredients. And I'm so happy to have had the opportunity to spend this time with you. And I'm always looking for new products to learn from and kind of, I guess, start to utilize myself and include in my own regimen. So I will plan to do that and probably talk about your products along the way in other videos to come. So thank you so much, Susan.
Well, thank you for coming so far and meeting the makers. I'm thrilled that you're able to do that.
Yes.
I mean, our big deal is we really believe in the wholeness of nature. We really want pure product, whole product, clean product.
Right.
I mean, some companies say that, but it's not always there.
Right.
But we're real purists, and that's the thing about Max and Jane is we're straight from nature, but in the mixing of the old and the historic and the biochemistry, both coming together.
Right.
A pure product.
Right, which is always awesome. So I am an ingredient person. I love talking about ingredients in my videos. So we're going to do a deep dive into a lot of the oils that they use, the benefits. We're going to talk about sun care, sunscreen, and how to care for our skin in the sun. I feel like I'm always talking about that in every video, but it's so important. And so Susan is going to help us with that and help back me up on that. So thank you, Susan.
You're so welcome. Well, sea buckthorn oil in our first product, in our skin nutrient, that's a big one for repairing and rebuilding from sun damage. So it's not a block. It's not like zinc or something like that. We're kind of ruining the coral reefs and so on around the world. And there's ones that aren't harmful to the coral reef, but they really provide blockage and you're not producing your vitamin D. So we have a very different take on what we need. Actually, right. UVA, we need UVB. UVA actually comes through particulate, so wherever you are in the world, no matter how much pollution is there or whatever, from sunrise to sunset, you're getting UVA. UVB doesn't come through particulate, so you actually get it like here in high elevation in the mountains in the southwest. We get it between like noon and 2 p.m. right where we are. Right. UVB is actually used to cure cancers now and as light therapy for all kinds of great benefit. So actually during that time you get B and A.
Right.
So, but it's a big deal to prevent pollution and prevent UVA. And sea buckthorn has some ability to take care of the problems that are caused by those light sources from the sun source. And so that's one reason that it was a key ingredient for us, both that it has omega-7 in it, which was hyped as the new anti-aging oil. I don't even know when it got that name, if everything was fully understood about its benefits of being anti-inflammatory, extremely healing, loads of vitamin C in there, which is why it's used like as orange juice kind of substitute over in Europe, or replacement. So yeah, sea buckthorn oil is an amazing oil to use for if you're going to have a lot of sun exposure or if you have had it in the past.
Right.
But the other product that is very interesting, the new Golden Pour, which is we're just waiting on its label. So it was going to launch December 1st, but we're going to be able to launch it by November 1st, which we'll do pre-orders online and so on. But red raspberry seed oil is, seed oils are like so intensive. They have so many properties that are amazing. But raspberry seed oil comes in at a 25 on the SPF scale.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I know. Most people are so surprised to hear that. But we're over 30% raspberry seed oil as the base, which all our products are organic. So this is 100% organic. And that's a very expensive product to use at that proportion in the base. But we don't have fillers or binders or anything else. We have 200 milligrams of CBD in that 1 ounce. So it's a pretty loaded product. But the raspberry seed at 25 SPF, I mean, I fly all around. Some days I end up for an hour or two on the beach, or yesterday I was on 10,000 feet at the top of the mountain in Santa Fe for like 12 hours because we were delayed up there. Yeah. So, I mean, it was great that I had this with me and could put an extra dose on in the afternoon because I was out in the hot sun for all that time, 12 hours. And I'm pale, so it wasn't so good. but it's fine. You know, it's a wonderful product that people should know that SPF is in there. I think you deal with a lot of people in cities and so on, and they need to protect from pollution as well as UVA.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Yeah. One of the other products that I wanted to mention that I just tested, it's the tourmaline mask, and I believe it's this one. So if you can kind of talk through again how it should be applied.
So I can I be the interviewee turning interviewer and ask
sure.
you why you
now
loved
we get to
it?
switch, yeah, we get to switch.
You were so happy.
Yes. So one of the main reasons that I loved it, and Susan kind of shared this with me earlier, but you apply it on your skin, you let it sit for
10 minutes
about
if you're
10
in a
minutes.
dry area.
Let it dry. If you're in a dry area, about 10 minutes. And then you slough it off kind of in a circular motion. And I did it just on this side of my hand so that I could see the difference. And oh my goodness, I thought we need to do a little more talk about this one, because I could tell an immediate difference on the texture of my skin and the brightness of my skin compared to the other side. And then I added the sea buckthorn oil here, because when we exfoliate, we want to kind of seal everything in. So I added that oil on top of there. But this already is an amazing product. Now, I said this is a new line for me, and I will be trying others, but you have to get this.
Yeah, it retails at $39, and there's enough for like 25 treatments in there. I mean, that is so inexpensive for a quality product and really pure product.
Yes.
So we do, I'm really into crystals and gemstone properties. So, you know, like you could maybe wear a stone and have like a little homeopathic effect of something. Like orange stones, we tend to gain weight with them, and green stones, we tend to lose weight. And green is chromium and vanadium, the nutrients that insulin needs to work well.
Okay,
so it helps to manage. It's very interesting to me. I've studied it for decades. But tourmaline has two amazing properties, and those are, you know, we actually get it from Brazil. It's got the heavy metals removed, so you don't have to worry about that. But it's pyrolytic and pierolytic. So pyro, think about fire. It means it warms up. So as it's massaged into your skin or you rub it in, it's actually warming up. And piero means it has a little bit of an electrical charge to it, which is actually proven to stimulate skin cells underneath. So we talked in the first video a little bit about exfoliating off all the dead skin cells on the surface so you could have a good glow going on and look fresh and vibrant and so on. But that you need to stimulate the stem cells so that you're repairing and reproducing cells, you know, and stem cells are very high when we're young, and then like everything in age,
aging is fun.
Right, so it's not our friend. And so this is a great product that it's very, very gentle. It actually also, the tourmaline exfoliant has jojoba pearls in it, and jojoba is an ester or a wax rather than an oil, and it warms up just with the warmth of your hands, so, or your face. So it melts, the jojoba melts, and is very neutral and very lovely for your skin. And the tourmaline is in there as a powder, which has absolutely no roughness to it at all. And that's what you use as the actual exfoliant as you're massaging it off yourself. My New York City ladies told me a couple of years ago, well, it doesn't dry in 10 minutes in our humidity. And we don't have time for this in the morning. So they're overlooking Central Park West, and, you know, they got a big day ahead of them and a lot to do with their face and their hair and everything before they're seen on the street. So I said, just put it on before you brush your teeth and do a few things in the morning, and then you jump into the shower, take it off with a warm wet washcloth. You don't actually need to have it dry. I mean, here we love to have it dry and massaged off, especially if an esthetician's doing it for you. Such a luxurious thing. But you could do it yourself with a warm wet washcloth and just take it back off, or jump in the shower if your routine is such in the morning that you need to overlap the timing periods and things. But it needs a little bit of time. A few minutes.
Well, I am already in love with it. So much more to come with this product line. And as we talked earlier, I think there's so many wonderful nutrients in here that it's really good to consider it. It's food for the skin. So we will be talking more about this line and other videos to come in the future. I'm really excited to try more because the benefits are just outstanding. So,
you know, one last thing that I forgot to mention that I do like to mention. You know that lipstick that's sold in the U.S. is over 60% of what's sold in the U.S. still contains lead. And lead is, you know, a neurotoxin and hard on everything, bones, liver, everything. I mean, it's just not something you should be consuming. And of course, when that lipstick disappears in the day, you know what happened to it. It went in with your food or your tea or whatever. Not okay. And so things like that, you're right that these nutrients absorb through the skin. And the ones that are toxic, you absolutely do not want to have in your skincare routine. So I think you're listeners might be interested
Yes,
to know that.
a nice clean line, as Susan has referred to before. So wonderful products.
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here today.
Thank you, Susan.